So the task expectation is the most important factor of developing a rubric. Let's have a look why this is so. Well, the first is that it's essential to determine why you are asking the learners to do the task. You've got to ask yourself, what are the outcomes of the task that you wish to achieve? And then what are you assessing, testing, or measuring? It's pointless asking the learners to do a task and then not assessing its original intention. So how do we determine these task expectations? Well, we need to look back at the curriculum and ask yourself, what is it that you really want the learners to know, to be able to do, and what you want them to understand? And in order to get this correct, you need to look at 4 things. The first is to look at the curriculum content. What does the curriculum require? What are the outcomes of the specific task? The second is what is the required level of understanding of the content? So once the learners have got the content, how much do they need to understand it? What are the skills required for a particular subject? And then, of course, looking at the overall critical and developmental outcomes. So again, those are skills. What are the overall skills you want the learners to be able to do and have? So let's have a look at a practical example. And this example comes from social sciences in grade 6. Here the learners are required to understand the contribution that a particular leader has made to building democracy in South Africa. So in this case, the teacher has asked the learners to research a variety of sources and write on the topic. So let's have a look at how do we get the task expectation? What are we requiring from the learners? Well, the first is the task expectation is so much more than just factual recount of the learner. The second, the task expectation requires the learners not only to write about the leader, but to also show an understanding of how the particular leader has made a contribution to building democracy. So that's a deep understanding of this person and what they've done. Then, of course, as with any task or project, it requires research. The learners need to be able to do research and go through the process of researching. And then finally, the learners are required to plan and write a piece showing understanding, and most importantly, to be able to draw conclusions. So those 4 aspects are the things that you are looking for in your task expectation. That's what you want from the learners. So we're going to use this to build the rest of the rubric. Now remember, with task expectation, the most important is the task expectation is used to determine the criteria upon which the learners are assessed. So it's important that we've got those 4 aspects, because that is how we're going to assess the learners. And then, of course, the task expectation determines the validity of the rubric. So when you look at the end of your rubric and you look back to the task expectation, the 2 must match. There must be a significant repetition in terms of what you're looking for and what the initial or the expected task was.